Hi, I want to talk today about a choice that we make every day that we may not be aware of but has great impact on our lives. And my hope is that by the end of this video, you will be a little more inspired to choose to have an adventure today and tomorrow and the next day and the next. One of the things our family likes to do every year is, well, almost every year, is watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's over 10 hours long, so it's kind of a big commitment, but we love it because every time we watch it, we come away with new layers of meaning, and it's just really inspiring. I think it's an important story for our day. And one of the messages I got out of it that I want to talk about today is this contrast. If you've seen the movie, you'll remember the Sackville Bagginsons, and if you haven't, they are these hobbits that are jealous. They want Bilbo's stuff, and they're kind of upset with him because he went off on an adventure once, and they thought he had died, and they were excited to inherit his home Bag End, and he came back, and so they were disappointed. And then later on, he had this nephew whom he kind of adopted, and then he became his heir, and they lost, all the chances of inheriting these things, and they kind of just live on this hope that maybe something will happen to them so that they can still have their stuff. So really, these hobbits were very materialistic. They basically, their god was stuff, right? They followed the god of materialism. And I want to contrast them to Frodo, who also loved the Shire and Bag End and the things there. And he kind of thought maybe he wanted to go on an adventure someday, but he didn't feel like he was ready, and so he was enjoying things. And then one day he realized that he had work to do because a great evil was growing in the world. And the evilness of the world was going to eventually come to the Shire and take over the things he loved and the people that he cared about. And he thought he needed to do something about it. He realized that he needed to go on an adventure to destroy this ring of power. Well, at first he didn't know that that was his part, but he knew that he needed to get rid of this ring of power. So he starts off. And our part in the work is also very similar to Frodo's. We also have a ring of power that wants to weigh us down. It's this evil that wants to take over our hearts, our home, and sometimes it's this burden that we each have individual ones, right? Like they're all different from each other, but that makes us feel heavy, and that maybe we're not worthy, or that we need to give up, and we need to cast this off the same way that Bilbo did. He was able to do it because of his love for people and things that are good and beautiful, and that love carried him through until he was eventually able to cast this down. But it wasn't easy. It was a long journey, and it taxed him. It stretched him to his limits. But he learned a lot about himself and about what he was capable of. And he made some incredible friendships. And he was able to get the peace for his heart and his home and the Shire that he was fighting for. And so I'm sure that was worth the price. And he didn't know where to start. And I think a lot of us feel that way, like, well, I want to do my part, but I don't really know where to go with it or how to start. And he didn't either. He didn't know who to trust, what to take, where he was going, or how to get there. But he had a guide. He had the wizard Gandalf. And Gandalf was wise. He had the bigger picture. He knew the powers of evil, and he also had chosen the good. And so Frodo knew he could trust him. And we need to choose our leader. Like if we want to be led by materialism, like the Sackville Bagginsons, or appetites, or the cares of this world, or perfectionism, like I talked about in the last video I did about fear, or if we want to follow the God of love, who will lead us to our potential, the creative work we have on earth, and the joy that we're seeking. And so once we choose to follow him, we have to kind of figure out, well, how do we do that? It's not like we're going to step out of a hobbit hole and start on this journey, but it is a journey. It's just different. What we need to do is ask our leader our marching orders for the day. So they won't look like his, but we will be directed. And the way we can do this is by asking 2 questions. And I talk about these in the basic training program that I have on the wakingwarriors.com site. They are, first, who would you have me help today? Or really, how would you like me to show your love to others today? And and you ask for the how, specifically what would you have me do, and then write the thoughts down that come to your mind about those people who maybe need a hug. It could be family members. There's a variety of ways that we can show God's love to others. And so we write those down, and then we try to follow through. And then the next question that we ask in the morning as well is, what would you have me practice or learn or study today? Because He knows our work and He knows how we can prepare for it. And so we need to make sure that we're not only helping others, but we're helping ourselves do this great work that He has. So we ask those two questions, and those are our marching orders for the day. As we follow through with them and evaluate them, we can start to hone down and get better at the skill of personal revelation, which is so important. At first we may feel like, I'm not really sure if these are my thoughts or if these are really the things I'm supposed to be doing, but as we, again, try it and then evaluate, we'll start to get a better feel for it and start to really get the feeling. We start to understand where we, how He speaks to us. So, as we start to follow these marching orders and move forward in our journey, we will, like Frodo, start to understand who we are, what we're capable of, and we'll be able to make incredible friendships along the way, build some great relationships, and also get the peace in our hearts and in our homes that we're seeking and that we're fighting for. So I hope if you would like to for me to come on your journey a little ways, you'll come visit the site wakingwarriors.com, and we can share some of these things together, learn a little bit as we get started in the free basic training program. And I'd love to hear what you're seeing and what you're learning. So I hope to see you there. Bye.